The other big issue, of course, was Labor's nuclear scare campaign. Just for those who haven't seen it, here it is.
There are definite increases in cancer, strokes and heart attacks with nuclear power. With renewable energy, we have much safer alternatives, and from a health perspective, nuclear makes no sense. There are significantly increased rates of cancer, heart attacks and strokes amongst the workforce in the nuclear industries.
Crazy stuff, Tim. It's telling that the Labor Party are using a former Greens candidate to make their case for them on nuclear. But I wanted to ask you, the level of political debate, I mean, I find it personally so depressing. Has it gotten worse lately, or has it always been this infantile?
I think it has gotten worse. I'm not sure if the whole COVID deal was something to do with it, or that was just parallel to events, but it seems to me that things are becoming more infantile, which is the perfect words to use here. I mean, if you're going to make the argument about risk down at the level that this former Greens candidate is making it, you would be arguing against ever leaving your house, because, you know, the risk does increase upon leaving your house of being run over by a bus. This is true. It might be tiny, it might be almost immeasurable, but the risk does increase, James. You shouldn't scoff at it. The risk goes up. So if we're analysing all human behaviour from that tiny, mean, ridiculous perspective, you're not going to get very far. And it's like the Labor Party are pulling their debate about this from the plot of a 1950s movie, a sort of a horror film, where all the exaggerated comic sort of aspects of it are made real in Labor minds. You'd hope that the general public is alert to it. I reckon obviously they are, because the polls show increasing support for the embrace of nuclear power.
Well, Tanya Plibersek has just signed off on an agreement to extend the lifespan of 4 coal mines because, as she tells it, there's no renewable alternative to coal when it comes to producing steel. So, Tim, should we call Tanya Plibersek the Minister for Coal?
Yeah. I mean, you're welcome to take that legal risk yourself. You know, like we're talking about defamation before with John Pursuto. I tell you, calling Tanya Plibersek the Minister for Coal, you might be hit with a few writs. But here's the great thing about this the circularity of the anti-coal position from the left. They hate coal, but then they recognise, we've got to build wind turbines. They're made of steel, so we need coal to build steel, but we should only have coal for that. Now, if you reduce steel manufacturing via coal to just one application, this tiny field of wind turbines, each wind turbine is going to be vastly more expensive than they already are, and they're already pretty expensive. But if you narrow down the cost per unit to have coal-fired steel wind turbines, each one's going to cost in the trillions, my man. It's going to be crazy.
It's absolute madness. Hey, look, I'm happy about the lifespan of coal mines being extended. That's good, but I'm not happy that the ban on climbing Mount Warning has been extended. The ban that was put in place about 5 years ago because of fears that climbers might disrespect Indigenous culture, it's been extended, Tim, so that New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service can have more time for consultation about the decision. This is a joke, right?
Oh, you'd hope so, but it's happening all over the place. Now, one of the things that's most upsetting about this whole line of argument that we can't, disrespect Aboriginal areas, Aboriginal art, Aboriginal artefacts, and so on. And I agree they need to be respected, but there's a racism involved here, which is coming from the side of those who wish to protect a lot of this stuff. And the racism is to treat Aboriginal Australians as though they're stroppy 2-year-olds. Oh, don't touch Becky's spoon, oh no, that's her special chair. We're talking about adults. We're talking about people who have their own agency, who are able to deal with concepts like sharing, We're not talking about half-witted babies or teenagers who will be distressed to the point of paralysis if they ever have someone else using their stuff, for God's sake. It's an infantile, again, to use the word infantile, it's an infantile way that we analyse things of this nature, and how we come to these crazy decisions of just banning people from walking around. It's stupid.
It is absolutely stupid. Tim Blair, it's always a delight to talk to you. Thanks for joining me tonight.